In this story of baptism of Jesus, we find a story of creation, a story of beginning. We've heard today of beginnings in the reading of Genesis. When a wind from God swept over the face of the waters, we heard the promise of just starting out, the potential of what could be. We know well what happens, though, after life steps in. We often begin writing our own stories after our creation without remembering who we really are. The good news today is that when Jesus steps into the baptismal waters, he introduces us to a God who wants to be near to us. He calls us all back into our belovedness. When Jesus steps into the waters of baptism, he reminds us that we can always begin again. But what does it mean for us Baptists to celebrate and remember our baptism? For most of us who have been baptized, baptism is a sacrament that we will likely partake in only one time in our lives. It is unlike the sacrament of communion that we partake in on a regular basis. So, is it even possible for us to begin again? Is it possible for us to find again the holy wonder of starting over and remembering who we really are? Can we get back to that moment and the wonder of creation? Talk to anyone in recovery from addiction. They will tell you that it is possible to begin again every single day. They know what it's like to pick up a glass of water instead of a glass of beer and remember who they are. If you have ever stepped out of a deep depression onto an ice-cold floor and stumbled into a steaming hot shower after days of not caring for yourself, then you know well what it means to begin again. I'm reminded of a story from Kate Bowler, professor of Duke Divinity School and author of Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved. She writes of her life after a diagnosis of colon cancer at a very young age. Kate knows what it means to begin again. She knows that beginning again is often painful and devastating and messy. She writes beautifully about coming into belovedness in the mundane of her life after cancer. She writes, "Each day has been a collection of trivial details, little intimacies and jokes and screw-ups and realizations. I am here now, bolted in time and place, to the busy sounds of a blonde boy in dinosaur pajamas crashing into every piece of furniture. Who's my baby, I ask him. A boy, he says hopefully. Yes, I say, but not just any boy. You. What if we hear today in the invitation to baptism, in the midst of our mundane, at the end of a mess of a week in our country, a call to return to our original blessing? Not just any boy. You. Not just any girl. You. not just anyone, beloved. The truth is that throughout our lives, we will have moments where we will find ourselves at the beginning. There are different stages of beginning again. Some of us may have to begin again, starting over after an unexpected tragedy. We might at times desperately want to begin again. Start again with new jobs, new relationships, new outlooks. But the good news, the greatest news, is that with baptism, we get to start again. We choose to participate in the sacrament and holy wonder of coming back to our belovedness. Will you gather at the river? Amen.